Hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I don't know what's going on with this. My little countdown didn't even come on. Well, yeah, because this is YouTube junk. So yesterday, while I was on YouTube, kind of just looking around, I see there was a bunch of other people running stories about Kevin Samuels. May have been still married. So all of this is allegedly because I really couldn't get to the root of where they were getting this information from, and so it's possible that it's not true. But people, like I said, they were reporting on this, saying that it's possible, saying that they feel like he's still married to his second wife. Now, it is possible, right? Is it true? I don't know. I don't know. And like I said, I don't really feel like people who were running these stories, they didn't really present anything to make me believe that they knew that for sure. Um, but it's possible because he was married in his early 20s to both these women. And he said that himself in his interview with Vlad. And I think he may have mentioned it on his own platform. I don't know. But I do know that both of these marriages were a while ago, 20 something years ago, even longer than that, because he was 56. So probably 30 years ago, right? Plus 30 plus years ago, if we really want to go there. Because I think he even said that he married the first wife really, really young, and the marriage did not last long. And then the second wife, I don't remember which one had the daughter. I thought the second wife had the daughter, but then I'm going to show you guys this video that came out a couple years ago. Now, we all were following this story back then because several people on YouTube were trying to kind of let everybody know, like, he's not really the high value man that he's telling you that he is, right? And all this stuff is neither here nor there today. Obviously, he's not even here, so it don't even matter. And I'm not trying to go back over that. But what I'm trying to show with this video is that he the ex-wife, allegedly this is the ex-wife in this audio. He never even came out and said it wasn't the ex-wife when everybody started creating videos around this. But it was Air Yogi, I believe that's his name. He said that he had a connection to um, Kevin Samuels, one of Kevin Samuels' ex-wives. He said that he had a connection. They have a mutual friend, and so that person put him in on the phone with her, right? And so he asked her if he could interview her, and she was saying, and you're going to hear it in this clip because I'm going to play a piece of it for you, that she was willing to do the interview. And then, of course, as you guys know, she pulled out of the interview. He came back and said, she said, no, she's not going to do it. And a lot of people felt like Kevin Samuels paid her to not talk. And he probably finally gave her the child support. Whichever one of them had the child, I don't know. I don't know which one of them had the child. It's very confusing now, because someone was saying it's the first wife. Now he said he married the first wife very young, like 19, 20 years of age. So I don't know um, which one have the child, right? And if the child was born that long ago, then that means that child is up there in age. You guys recognize that, right? So this little young girl that people are passing around as his daughter is not his daughter, because he would, if he had the child with the first wife, that child would be well into their 30s because he married both of these women in their 20s. To be honest, both of them, any child, whether it's with the first wife or the second wife, would be up there in age, because these are not recent marriages. These marriages are over 30 years ago. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff don't make sense. A lot of that people are putting out here on in YouTube land, you have to really think a lot of stuff through because it just don't add up. But it's neither here nor there if he's still married to her or not. I think a lot of people, in particular the black women that are reporting on this, their point is that he was still married to the black wife if he was in fact if still married. Now people will stay married if they can't afford the divorce, right? And at some point in his life he was having some financial issues. You're going to hear her say, and I believe this is the second, no, the first wife. This was the first wife. She's saying that he was doing well for himself at some point. She said he was working in sales or something. You guys are going to hear her saying. So I'm not saying his entire life he wasn't, doing nothing, but when say in the center pulled his resume and the stuff that he had posted on his LinkedIn that he created for this high value life, a lot of that stuff was not true that he was putting on there. There was no way of tracing the employment that he was saying that he had and all the other stuff that he was saying on there. So, yeah, and even though he says that he had a degree in that interview with Vlad, saying the center was saying, and the ex-wife, that he did not finish school. I don't know if he ever said that or not, that he didn't finish school. He obviously went to some university, but he did not complete, get his degree. So I don't know. I'm gonna play Yogi. Now Yogi, he really wanted to get all involved in all this. It came to pass because he was starting a dating app for African Americans. So he has a dating app, and I forget the name of it now, but he's no longer on YouTube. He only came to YouTube to promote his dating app. And I guess because, people like Derek Jackson and some other ones and Kevin Samuels were supposed to be these relationship gurus or whatever they call themselves, coaches. This is what made him, would draw him to a Kevin Samuels in the first place. He wasn't necessarily looking for Kevin Samuels to look for Kevin Samuels. But because he was starting this relationship app, I guess he probably wanted to make some connections with the audience of people who were talking about relationships, right? That would make sense. And so that's kind of how he got pulled into the whole Kevin Samuels conversation. And then, of course, when he started to hear how Kevin was talking to women and stuff. So you guys are going to hear him bring that up. And this is why, because he has a dating app, and when he comes back and says the wife refused to do the interview, he talks about that in a different video that's out here as well on YouTube. But I'm gonna let you guys listen to him. This is why I don't believe that he was still married to the second wife. I think he was divorced, because the first wife is gonna say it.
Hey, it's not good. If my phone cuts out, I'm kind of bad. Just to make sure every phone comes. I've been online. There's actually a lot of videos already out there calling them a fraud. But they just don't really have good information, but they're close. Like people looked up his business licenses, and like they're saying he never had a business license, but they were wrong because I did find one business license in Oklahoma for something called Mass Style or something, Mass Image in 2014, but it's not valid. It's not valid anymore. So he really is about to take a lot of business license, and he does have some form of a debit card because in one of his videos he's paying for something, but I think he probably has like a prepaid card. Oh yeah. And what else? Oh, the ex-wife after you, she's an actress. Right. Not really that successful, but I'm really curious. I tried to call her. I couldn't get a hold of her, but I'm pretty sure she had a pretty horrible marriage. Oh, okay. And then why you say that? Oh, you think like because I mean, she seems like a really nice lady, just like you. You have both like pretty women, and the only question. So okay, so I tried to call Papa Bill in Texas to see if they would acknowledge he worked in which I know he did, but they can't talk about that because of employee relations. Right. The only job I really see he had was Papa Bill's. Okay. Was he never a high earner when he was with you? Did he ever make a lot of money? Yeah, he did. He used himself. So something efficient. So he was a spokesperson. Yeah. Okay, so he was making. So when he was making money, did he take care of at that time? Yeah, he kind of flaky, but I think the running somewhere on the screen. I gotta take my, I gotta get ready to go to dinner with my girlfriend. I just want to touch base with you guys. But obviously, my mindset is not on exposing him. It's more so I would really love for people to hear from you, if that makes sense. It's not really about what he's doing. There's just a lot of confused people out there. He's hurting a lot of women. And I would love for you to have a way to just set it straight. Not going after him, but like people are up debating about like how much they get out and they just can't figure it out. Man. Yeah. So I don't know people either love him or hate him. He's on his personality. Well, I was like, well, guess what? If you got a daughter, if you raise your daughter, the main thing to me that I don't like he's doing is he's spending all this on the image, but you got to take care of your children. Right, yes. And he hasn't done that, so if he would take care of his daughter, he's hopeful. He can talk to people when he wants, but he can't tell people not taking care of their business, and he's not taking care of his. So yeah, I don't want to. So I'm already free tomorrow sometime when you're free, but I just want to say that it's not about going after this. It's really about not letting people just be confused because he's taking people's money, and if they want to give them back, they know the truth. Let us give it to them. Right. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right, good people. So when Kevin Samuels saw the video, he blocked my Instagram account. And he called his ex-wife and pleaded for help. He didn't call the daughter on birthday, doesn't send money. When it's about him, he knows how to pick up that phone and reach out and text someone. And so then after that, the ex-wife said, you know what, I pretty much, don't want to, be exposed, and that's why I'm not going to say her name or any other information because out of respect for her privacy. And the only reason I played that little clip was because it's important for the women that he heard to hear, and I think that was enough to show you that the information is valid. And I think people say like a verification type of thing. It should be verified at this point. And from one black man to another, I really think this is going to help Kevin Samuels. So don't think I'm here hurting him because people like him for negative content. So this is just going to make them go, wow, and ultimately, he's not a bad guy. Black men that are misled, we're not bad people. When I first heard his content, like I said, it framed my ear. I liked it because it reinforced all the things of chauvinism that I've been taught my life. But, I've been on this app Clubhouse and I've been listening. You get into a room with 1,000 women and you listen to how it makes them feel. And I have to respond because as much as he said we don't need women, I came from a woman. My mom's woman, the person I sent the Valentine's Day gift to is my niece. She's a woman. I love black women. I love people. So I would hate to be in a segment of society that somebody's making a living by saying I'm better than you. So Kevin, you're my brother, man. I don't want nothing but good for you. I'm actually helping you out. You know what I'm saying? I saw you do a show tonight with a white woman there calling her rugged. That's a great approach. You're a great salesman. So you want to change the agenda, now you're gonna get white women on you. You may not want to do that, but the black women probably appreciate it. I'm with you on what you're trying to do, trying to make a living, okay? But people just want answers to these questions, okay? So tomorrow, a young lady that Kevin put a video up that she did not want up is going to be interviewed by a sister in Atlanta. It's going to be a great interview. This lady emailed. She did not know Kevin's platform. She doesn't want to be online. And we're going to ask him to take that video down. We're going to hear from her. So it's not about Kevin at this point. It's about giving these young sisters a voice. And like I said, if you turn to say now you need to start attacking white women, good luck, Kevin. You may not want to go there, okay? So ladies, you have a good night. I know a lot of women are waiting to hear her voice. You've heard it. And much love, much respect. How are you doing?
So yeah. So you hear, right, that she was saying that they're both ex-wives. So I don't know. It's possible, she don't know, right? Why, how, and why would she know? I guess at the same time, if the second wife is an ex-wife, or if they're still married on paperwork. So I don't know. I don't know that I necessarily believe that right. The man's not here about his lifestyle and running to Atlanta. Now, people were saying that he lived in Texas as well, and as you can hear, that he was talking to was saying, yeah, he that they lived in Texas. The second ex-wife or she lives in Texas now, and yeah, she was allegedly an actress, and there is there's a video. I'm not laughing. I'm just, that's just a thing. But she has a video here on YouTube. It's some kind of movie that I can't even remember her name right now, and I don't even feel like going through the rigmarole looking for it. That is out here. If you guys start watching some of these other YouTubers talking about he's still married, you will get her name, and then you can put her name in the search engine, and the movie will come up. Um, so I don't know. I mean, if they're still married on paper, 56 is young. People may feel like at 56 they still have time to get things in order, right? That they don't have in order, and they probably should have in order. But it's possible that they just stayed married on paper, just based on the fact that maybe he couldn't afford the divorce. I don't know, or maybe they both just said, we don't really need the paperwork. We're not planning on marrying anyone else, or I don't know. I don't know how true it is, because I don't know that I necessarily believe that. Right? I just don't. Especially, well, I guess it would have been the first wife that was going after her for the child support. Now that paperwork is out here as well. So that was confusing as well. But it sounds like the first wife was the one with the child. And this is who Yogi was talking to, the first wife. And like I said, which means this child, this quote unquote child, is 30 something plus years old. This is not a child. This is a very grown young lady. So I don't know. I don't know. But it was already established that the picture of the daughter that's floating around is not his daughter. So we already knew that that was not true. So I don't know if all these other people, if all this other stuff is real or not, right? Now, if they feel like coming out and speaking, they will. I agree with one of the YouTubers I was listening to last night. Here's an opportunity for her to capitalize, both of them actually, both ex-wives, for them to capitalize off of this, to get the money, the child support, or whatever he owes them, or whatever the situation was. Um, for for her to get that money by writing a book or coming out doing some of these interviews. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We do have to give people an opportunity to go through their grieving time and grieving process. So I don't know. I don't know if they're going to come out talking or not. They might not. They had opportunities to really blast him while he was online saying a bunch of stuff as well, and they did not. So it's possible they might not come out. They might not even feel the need to come out and do that, especially if he was, once he started making money, finally giving the lady the money that he owed her, because he owed her a lump sum of child support. I believe one of these YouTubers pulled that information. So he was like owed her back child support. And you guys know that don't go away just because child turns 18. That debt is still there. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Do you believe the stories that's floating out here? Do you think that he was still married? Um, Personally, I don't. I really don't. That's just how I feel about it. Um, and then the fact that they had been separated all this time, the family really could get a lawyer. And when I say his family, I mean, his mother, who they say is still alive, but some people are saying his mother is not still alive. You know, it's a lot of trickery. I don't trust nothing that comes out of that black manosphere. Now, if you choose to, that's on you, but I don't trust nothing that comes from that direction and those women that follow behind them. I don't trust none of that. none of it. So I don't know what's wrong, what's not. I don't know if his, what his situation is with his family. But if he is still married, the family still could try to challenge that with the, because obviously everything would go to the wife, but they could challenge it because they've been separated so long, right? Obviously, no one would have an issue with whatever going to his daughter, as it should rightfully go to his daughter. Um, but because people are saying that he's still married to the wife, I don't know. Um, I guess it would go to the wife and the daughter, but I don't know. I don't, if the first wife is the child's mother. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. Do you think he was still married to the second wife? And I don't even know. Like I said, I was trying to do some research last night. That's why I didn't jump on this last night. I was trying to see where the root of this, who was putting this out there, where this was coming from. And I really don't know where it's coming from. But I just noticed that several people have touched on it. Um, but yeah, and they're saying that it's possible that he might still be married. And I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see if his family will make any moves. And I do agree with Couture Bay. Like, this is a Tasha K moment, right? This is something you can see Tasha and Chelsea jumping on and trying to locate, the either the mom or the daughter or one of the ex-wives, and to interview them. They ran and found Jaguar's family. So clearly they have the know-how to go do stuff like that. So this is something that, we'll have to wait and see if Tasha K will touch this. And then Tasha K had a really, I don't know if she had a really, I shouldn't say that, because just because you interview somebody doesn't mean you have a relationship. But she did interview him, as you guys know, on her channel. So she might have a little bit more information anyway, right? To get to these people than what we know of. So we'll have to wait and see what she will do with this. I guess I'm speaking of Tasha K, because it's definitely a story, and it's definitely a documentary or a movie or something in here, because all of it was a wild ride to see somebody do that, right? To come to YouTube and you know fabricate. It's kind of like the Tinder swindler and that other girl who was telling people she was a Russian princess. They both got documentaries. I mean, I can see Kevin with one as well, because he definitely was pulling the wool, using the way he looked, the fact that he is a good speaker, you know, and when you hear the wife saying he was a salesperson in that sales field, so he knows how to convince people. The gift of persuasion. He had the gift of persuasion, so he knew how to convince that the stuff that he is telling you. I guess people, if you were believing it, I didn't believe it. It was certain things that was definitely giving him away to me. And that's why I started so many other people on YouTube. That's how I found out about a lot of these people, because they were calling him out as well. And so yeah, I mean, some certain things that he was saying and doing, it kind of was giving him away. And then you kind of start looking into even his YouTube career. You kind of realize, okay, he's not who he's telling these people he are. But if you're somebody who's just coming and clicking on YouTube, you don't know who you're listening to, right? Unless you do the work to look into them. And then I wanted to know, well, if he's a high value man, well, how did he make this money? And that's what kind of led me to a lot of stuff as well. And then I saw the videos from Satanist Center, and I started seeing Taz and Cynthia G started touching on him. And then of course, around that time, that's when he went viral for when he said to the girl, to the young lady. So it's definitely a movie. It's definitely a movie there, or documentary, something. People who have the ability to make these things happen. I mean, obviously, it's up to them to make that happen if they feel like it's something that they want to do. But I can definitely see it. I can see it, because That was pretty amazing. And then he definitely made money. Like, people are trying to say he was broke, but he wasn't. It was impossible for that to be true. Like I said, just from YouTube alone, and that's not including all those super chats. When he went live and just talking, and people were sending him super chats and whatever. Then he had all these other platforms as well. And I think that once you hit a certain amount of people following your platform, you automatically become eligible for money, for sponsors and all kind of other stuff. And so he probably was making money on several platforms. And obviously, you have to pay to watch someone's Patreon channel. And I know that he had one of those, especially when he was doing more stuff with the Black Manosphere. So he was definitely generating money. So I don't think people um, realize that. He didn't come here with the money, but trust me, in this last year, he was doing well. Um, I guess that's why how he was in. And another thing about him renting that room, that was a part of him. And this is why I said this movie. This is definitely a movie. Trust me, because you can't make this shit up. Number one, and stuff like that is always made a movie made. Like, you can definitely turn it into a movie, something like that. He lived with that lady because he wanted people, because he know that people can figure out where you are from your phone. Your phone is nothing but a GPS tracking system anyway. I'm sure everybody know that. When people figured out where he was, he wanted to be in a place where the homes were worth of a certain value, right? And so even though he didn't own the house, if you saw the area that he was in, you would think, okay, well, he's staying, and then just simply because the lady is white and he's sitting here telling you he can't stand Black women, so naturally people are going to think that he's going to be with somebody of a different, another nationality, right? So him living with this white lady would be right up his alley, right, to go along with his story, even though it was a landlord situation. But I think that what he was trying to do was put himself in an area where people would expect someone that's high value, to live. It's probably not that he couldn't afford his own place. It was the fact that he wanted to look as if he was living in certain areas where the homes were worth X amount of dollars, right? So that's probably why he was renting a room from that lady. That's what I think, because eventually he moved it to his own place, right? Um, but let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. Do you think that he was still married to the second wife? And I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but she is supposedly an actress. Um, and like I said, there is a movie on YouTube that she's in now, honey. It's a, it's a, call it that, film. So, you know, yeah. I don't recall seeing her name anywhere else, but um, I think they say that one of the YouTubers was saying that she still lives in Texas. I didn't know he lived in Texas. I thought he went from Oklahoma to Atlanta, but I guess if he was married to this woman, she was in Texas, and I guess he was in Texas, and maybe from Texas he went to Atlanta. I don't know. Um, but I do know he was based in Atlanta while he was on YouTube. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that he was still married to the second wife? Do you think it makes a difference? And do you think they should do a movie about Kevin Samuels? Right? Like the Tinder, the swindler, Tinder swindler, and the other lady, the one who was saying she was a Russian princess, or 6 degrees of separation, right? Like Will Smith, because he definitely pulled it off. Like, he definitely clearly had people fooled. And like you can hear Yogi saying, like, you can't point the finger at people about being a Pookie and a Ray Ray when you are the Pookie and the Ray Ray, right? Like this lady was saying, you wasn't giving her child support, you wasn't helping her with the child, you wasn't even going to see the child when she was a child, even though she, of course, is an adult now. Um, but let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. And I will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to come back with this whole young Pharaoh going in on Cardi B situation for Tasha K. I'll see you guys in that video.